Welcome back. This is the Lorcana YouTube channel, and here are 5 bold predictions for Disney Lorcana. As of filming this, it is June 7th, 2025. I am going to make 5 predictions, and then we will see how they compare against what is reality. So, without any further ado, let's get started with it. Number 5. I think the D23 collection set from 2024 is at a low in price. Right now, I think on TCG Player you can buy them for about $190. Depends on taxes, shipping, things like that. But my prediction, by the end of the year, these are going to go up in price about 25%. And so you should see them go about that $240 mark. We'll see if I'm right about that one. Number 4, locations. They're coming back. I know they weren't that popular. They didn't fit in the meta. And so the price on them are incredibly low. I don't think that they're going to give up on those just quite yet. So my prediction, within the next 3 sets, so not including Random Jafar, obviously, we will see locations coming back. I am also excluding reprints from this, from any new set. So if it's a reprint of a location, it does not count towards my prediction. All right. Number 3. I'm going to say that when it comes to first chapter prices, at least for the booster boxes, we will not see them go back above $400 before the end of the year. Why is that? I think there's quite a bit of supply on this, and so we're having competing issues, right? I'm predicting one price to go up and one basically to stay the same, which seems a bit counterintuitive at first. This is for collectors. You could technically play with the cards, but I don't think they're going to be used in a whole lot of play, right? This right here has both value to anyone playing the game as well as collectors, but we saw when reprints were announced that the price of first chapter dropped dramatically. Single prices, huge drop in there. I think Rapunzel went from about $50 for a non-foil card down to about $32 now. So set rotations are saying that the first 4 sets are going out of play. And so as a result, there's a lot less demand for these cards. I think also contributing to this is that if you look at the first chapter cases, they are selling for right around $1,400. Right now it's a bit under, but when you include taxes, shipping with it, you're going to be above $1,400, right? Well, simple math, $400 times 4 is $1,600. So right now, if you're wanting a box, even at that $380 price, it's going to start making more sense to get a case, assuming you can afford that, right? But then you're going on the collector side of it, hoping that as more collectors enter into Lorcana, that the price starts going back up, especially if there's no reprints of that, right? But that's what happened with the D23 set. We didn't have a reprint technically. We just had it to where Ravensburger held back on the initial release. So we thought this was going to be a one-time release thing. Prices jumped up. They were getting close to about $300, if not a little bit over. And then there was effectively a raffle, a lottery, to see if you were, entered into that, if you could win a price at the MSRP, which is at $99. So interestingly enough, I actually did buy this when they came out. I think I bought it for about $200. And then when they announced the raffle, I entered and happened to win that. And so I paid the other $99. So the 2 boxes I'm in for basically $150. Right now you're seeing them at $190. So it's fine for me. Both of them are sealed, keep them protected. But I don't think there's going to be any more of these. Not for a 2024 item associated with it. We might see, another sort of D23 collection come out maybe later this year, if not 2026. We've seen that with 2023, and we're talking about the D23 Expo. The stitches in the background. Obviously, the biggest card from that is the Elsa, the Snow Queen. PSA 10 on that is probably about $7,000 as you're recording. It fluctuates. You can see it as high as 8, as low as 6, right? But this is for collectors. This is for both. And because I'm predicting that we're going to see a drive in rarity with this, there's going to be less supply, that this price is going to go up. And I'm not predicting that this price is going to go down. I'm merely just saying that I think it's going to hold steady for a while. I think there's enough supply on the market to last, even as we enter new players and new collectors with it, right? We have, a good collector community. Is it huge? No, let's be real with this. The Pokemon collector community is vastly outnumbers the amount of people in Lorcana. Rightfully so, if you think about it. Pokemon's been around 20 plus years. Magic the Gathering's been, wow, they got to be getting close to 30, if not more. I mean, I remember playing in high school, so not to age myself with that. So, Lorcana's been around for basically a year and a half, realistically. A little bit longer depending on how you count things. It takes a while for organic growth to happen within the collector base, right? The number of card games that have entered into the wasteland of no longer existing is more than I could probably name. There are a lot of them. And, there are going to be people that think, well, maybe this is going to be the same thing with Disney Lorcana. And that's a risk. That is something that could happen. I would bet against that happening. In fact, I would say I have strongly bet against that happening. I just think the Disney name is too powerful. They have too many different properties. We know next year that they're going to release the Pixar cards, which I'm super excited for. Remember, Disney also owns Marvel. So I know Marvel has its own game, but you think about the possibilities, the new content being created by Disney whenever they do. Obviously, they have a lot of movies now that are re-releases of the cartoons, for better or worse, whatever your opinions are on that, it's fine, but there will be new movies, new characters still being created with it. Same as Pokemon, right? So I think the collector base is going to continue to grow, which I'm excited about. So, all right, those had longer explanations. I think with the location one, that's just a hunch. I have nothing to base that off of. I just don't think they're ready to give up the locations that quickly with it. So, moving on to number 2. I think there's going to be a new type of card release within the next 4 sets. So we have locations, we have characters, we have items, we have actions, and then we have songs, but they're a subset of actions. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to predict that there is going to be a new type of card associated with this. I'm not talking foiling, not talking printing, anything like that. So I'm going to guess that the most likely outcome of that would be with the release of whatever comes out with Pixar. I don't know what the plan is for that. Obviously, I don't know the plan for anything with this. I'm not an insider or have any knowledge about this. It's just what I think would make the most sense. I think the Pixar release is going to be big. I'm excited for it. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of hype surrounding that. And when you think about the artwork that Lorcana has produced currently with what they can do with the Pixar properties, I mean, I'm super excited about Gargoyles being released, but I can't wait to see an Enchanted Doug. Do I think there's going to be an Enchanted Doug within that first set? Probably not. I know Doug isn't the biggest of Pixar characters, but in my heart, he is the biggest of Pixar characters. So really excited for that. I do think around that time we will see some other type of card be announced, be released, in order to keep the meta changing. I think, when I talk about locations, when I talk about the new card, that's really what it comes down to, is that Ravensburger doesn't want to keep the meta stale. We've seen that with the nerf. We can't really say it was a ban on Bucky. It effectively was, though. And we did see that with the ban that came later just a few months ago when we talk about the blue item deck. So we're going to keep seeing meta shifts with that. And I think they want to make sure that all the colors have a meta relevant deck. And they also want to see gameplay not become stale, because when the gameplay becomes stale, then the game starts to die. And that's the last thing they want to have happen. They want people engaged. They want them excited about it. They want to keep the player base actively playing the game. It is a game first, and then obviously it's a collectible second. And I do think that they're going to try and keep it that way. They want the player base happy and engaged. And one of the side effects that happens with that is you get more player base, you start to get people that are more of the collector side of it. Now, obviously, for someone like myself, I came in on the collector side first. But for the most part, with Lorcana, it's a player base first and foremost, which is great. I love the enthusiasm about that. And I want to keep seeing new things come out, keep the meta fun, keep the game fun. It's already a great game as is. And we're just going to continue to improve upon that. And I'm looking forward to that. All right. Last prediction. Again, this one may be possibly the one that I think is least likely to hit, but I'm still going to go for it anyways. And I think when it comes to the promos for league play, organized play, that they are going to start releasing alternate art for organized play. Why is that? It goes back to what I said about number 2. trying to keep the player base engaged, right? These are cards that typically you're only supposed to get them at your local game store. Which support your local game store. Go there, buy cards, play the game, right? That's part of the fun. How do you keep them engaged? Offer them an incentive for playing the game there, for buying cards there. Give them a card that you can't get elsewhere. You can't open a pack and get that artwork somewhere. Yes, I know you have the little symbol here that differentiates it from being just a regular card, and there might be some foiling changes with it. And I know in some cases that technically is enough. You see that on in like Pokemon with the Pokemon Center, the little icon. Exact same card, you get that little icon in there, and the value of it can be 10x from what it is. Are we seeing that with Lorcana? For the most part, not really, no. And so I think in order to keep the player base engaged with it, they're going to go with alternate arts. And we've already seen a hint of that when it came to the Lilo gift box. I mean, everyone called it the Lilo and Sid's gift box. It's technically only the Lilo card. We're seeing that again, I think, with Fabled. We're having, I think it's the Elsa gift box. Super excited about that. I think it's a great idea for them to keep doing that. The price on that is fantastic. And so we already have the idea behind it that, yes, we can do alt art, and we can definitely do that when it comes to organized and league play. So I'm hoping it'll expand beyond just championship cards, and we'll see that. But those are my 5 predictions for Disney Lorcana. I'm looking forward to seeing where I'm right and where I'm wrong at. But let me know in the comments, either do you have a bold prediction yourself, or if you don't, how many right do you think I'm going to get? Am I going to go 5 for 5, 4 for 5? Do you think I'm going to go 0 for? Let me know. And I'm happy to take percentages in there as well. I'm going to guess, well, I guess I technically, since I made the predictions, I have to say that I'm going to get 100% right. But realistically, I'm hoping if I get 3 right, I'm going to call that a win. So, all right, that's it for this video. We got more stuff coming. We got a lot more Reign of Jafar openings happening and working on other gameplay decks and things like that. So I'm hoping in a few weeks we'll actually be able to do a seller point of view video. We have a local convention coming up, and we're interested in selling for that. And so I think in a future video, maybe one during the midweek, I'll show you what I have available for sale there and what we're going to have set up for the convention with that, assuming we get to do that. So, all right. Well, thank you for watching. Appreciate all the support, all the comments, the likes, and anything else you have, any suggestions, I'm all for it. So hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.